If you've made some mistakes and you can't just tink back, you might need to drop down a little bit further. So this video is going to show you how you can fix your mistakes from the top.
If the error that you want to fix is a little bit further back than perhaps a few stitches on the same row, and as you can see, 3 stitches below my needle, I've got a purl stitch where I should have, let me show you that with this, I've got a purl stitch where I should have a knit stitch. I don't want to go back 3 rows tinking 1 stitch at a time. You can fix it by dropping this stitch down, repairing the error, and then hooking back up. And by hooking back up, I mean using my trusty crochet hook. Let's show you how that's done. So I'm going to work across all the way, let's assume I already have because I'm there already, to the point where I'm just about to knit the stitch, which is at the top of the column where the problem has occurred. All I do is I slip that stitch off the needle. Wait, look at that, it's live stitch in the middle of nowhere, hanging out in the wild. It could easily unravel down and cause all sorts of problems. If you want to avoid that, the easiest thing to do is just pinch the work, thumb and finger, pinch just below the problem, and it's not going to go any further than that. Then I'm going to take my crochet hook, and going into the running yarn, doesn't matter which side, this side or this side of the stitch which is free, I'm just going to pull that stitch out of there, and I've got this rather scary loop of yarn there. I'm going to go down one more time into the running yarn, the row below, and pull that one out too. Try not to split the yarn as I do it. There we go, and that's that one free. And then this is the stitch which is a purl and should be a knit stitch. So I'm just going to then repeat that same maneuver, pulling that out there, and now I've got to the stage where everything below here is perfect and as it should be, so I don't need to go down any further. In order to fix that stitch, what I want to do is I want to take the tip of my crochet hook and stick it through from the front to the back through the center of that stitch there. I'll try and get everything else out of the way so you can see exactly what I've done. So I've got that stitch there nice and safe on my crochet hook. You can see I've created a bit of a ladder above it. Now that is why this technique is sometimes also called laddering down. But this time I'm going to ladder back up. I'm going to use the rungs of that ladder one at a time to pull them through the loop of that stitch and then the loop of the stitch above it and so on back up to the needle. So what I want to do, once I've caught that stitch on the crochet hook by going in from the front to the back, I go in underneath that first rung of the ladder, just that first rung, and using the crochet hook I pull it through the stitch that we had at the bottom of our ladder. Now I've just got 2 rungs to play with. Second time through, again going in underneath the rung and picking up just that one rung of the ladder there. Again using the crochet hook, draw the loop through. I've got 1 final rung to play with, go in underneath it, use the crochet hook, draw the loop through our stitch there, and then I can place that final stitch back on the left needle and knit it as if nothing had ever happened. And this is the column where we had our errant purl stitch, our rogue rapscallion of a purl stitch, and there is no sign that anything untoward had ever been wrong. That's dropping down or laddering down.
That was dropping down. It's come in handy with me more times than I care to mention. Always have your crochet hook to hand.